So, Michael, we're talking about fasting. You've written a book called Fasting, Rediscovering the Ancient Pathways. And in your book, you have a chapter entitled Habit, where you're making a distinction between hunger and habit. What is that about?
I would say that most times people feel the hardest thing to conquer in a fast is going to be their hunger. Man, I don't want to fast because I know I'm going to get so hungry. Man, the hunger pains are going to come on me. It's going to overwhelm me. Man, I'm going to drive to the first McDonald's I can find. This is what I find. Most people think the hardest thing is going to be about fasting. But I don't believe that that's the hardest thing to conquer in the place of fasting. Hungry is something that you become from time to time. Habit is what you have become over time. Habit is what you are. It's what's been woven into the fabric of your life. It's who you are in substance. And for most, the habits that they have to confront in fasting are much harder to deal with and to be freed from than simple hunger from moment to moment. Wow. In John 4, Jesus is standing next to a natural well, and the woman comes, and he says, as she's at this natural well, you're gonna come here every day of your life because naturally this has been satisfying your thirst. But if you would turn to me, I would give you something that would cause you to never thirst again. As comical as this is gonna sound, it's no coincidence that stressed is just desserts spelled backwards. Comfort foods are called comfort foods for exactly that reason. Yeah. In our moments of need, there are many things that we turn to. Sometimes it's food. Recognize, if you will, next time over the course of a hard week, over a hard day, the types of appetites that you have over that day or over that week. We all, when we have a hard day, when there's certain pressures being applied to our life, when there's certain things that we're going through, whether it's emotional or financial or relational, what have you, we all are driven towards certain things. Some people, it's the driving range. Some people, it's shooting guns. Some people, it's eating. Yeah. Some people, it's specific foods. Why would it be specific foods? The body is an amazing thing. Without trying to get too technical and too medical oriented, because I'm not a doctor, nor do I claim to be, but I know that there are some simple and beautiful truths in the place of fasting as it pertains to the connection with food. Jesus is identifying her connection with a natural well. The question is, what is your well and why do you keep running to it in times of need? The body has a pleasure sensor in the brain. Aphrodisiacs are certain kinds of food that trigger the pleasure center in our brain. They arouse certain responses from individuals. They please us in certain ways. Chocolate, oysters, strawberries, on and on and on. What is this satisfaction that we gain by consuming certain foods? Try to remove the foods that bring you certain satisfactions and notice what happens to the body. Your desire for a specific food isn't even necessarily attached to the taste many times, as it is the chemical response and the physical response that comes about or is brought about in the body by you consuming certain things. So the consumption of food is what is now pleasing you. Try to sever that. In the place of fasting, we find the severing from all of these comforts, from all of these connections, from all of these attachments, from all of these things that are happening in us that most times we don't even recognize, we don't even know is happening. We just think, man, I can't get away from this. I can't cut this out of my diet. I'm not disciplined enough to eat a certain way or to be, disciplined in a certain way to eat. It's none of those things. It's the fact that you have chemical things happening in you that have control of you, that if you would realize are a real part of your life, you would see the beauty in the invitation of fasting from Jesus himself to free you in a way that you've never been able to free yourself.